So, hello again. This is actually my second take. I ran over time on the other one. So I'm just going to cover real quick the textbooks that you used in what class because my internet is down and I'm bored. For whatever reason, my neighbor is still not in her room, so freedom to make noise of some sort. So, level 1, you primarily use these two books. I had a bad habit of taking the covers off of my textbooks so the covers don't get messed up and then losing them. So most of them look like this. But anyway, so this is your level 1 textbook. Woohoo! You don't cover all of it in level 1, I don't think. Pretty sure you cover part of it in level 2. Like I said, level 1 moves pretty slow. I will pick up as you move on, but level 1 is pretty slow because I mean, honestly, like I had said in my previous video, it's meant for even if you come in and you don't know any Japanese, you'll be able to get by. You have to study. Don't think that you can get by without it. Otherwise, you're going to be repeating the level. But you can get by, and you'll be just fine. So, level 1 textbook, and this is your starting kanji book, but you only go up to page 50 in it in level 1. If you even get that far, it might be page 30. Actually, I think I wrote it down. Let's see. Actually, no, you get to page 49, that's what it was. You start page 50 in level 2. So, kanji textbook, there's 6 kanji. In each set, 2 per page. Level 1, you cover them real slow. You cover about a set a week. Level 2 onwards, it's a set a day. So it does pick up. So it's something you're going to actually want to continuously study. Otherwise, it's going to really kick you in the butt. So you'll have the practices that you'll go over in class. They'll tell you how you're supposed to write it. They get less picky as you go up the levels as far as how you're writing, so long as it still looks nice. In my experience, they were more picky in level 1 and level 2 on the writing of your kanji. Especially in level 1, they want to make sure that you know what you're doing. Like, you'll notice when you get here, you got in the world, Japanese people, their writing is terrible. But they can read it. As long as it's legible, they really don't care. But here at school, they want you to learn correctly. What you do with it after that, that's entirely up to you. But at least on your tests and stuff, make sure that you're writing it right, and it's readable, and it looks pretty, and you're good to go. So, textbooks format is the same for both of these 2 textbooks that you're going to be using before you move on to the independent materials. So, it starts off, and all of them have this. It's going to have audio stuff on it for you, so that you can practice listening to it. Or if you want, you can answer the questions independently outside of class. You will go over it in class as well. Of course, you have your table of contents. Okay, so here's the basic format. So obviously it's level 1, chapter 1, that's super basic. So you'll go ahead and you'll have sentences. You'll also be given a set of grammar notes that will translate these for you while you're in your lower levels. You'll also have a kaiwa, like I said, level 1, chapter 1, it's super short and simple. But there'll be a conversation to go over. Then you'll go ahead and the next page after that is going to be grammar points that you're covering in that chapter. Go over real basically on kind of how you use it. And then you'll have practice problems, real simple stuff. You'll have some more conversation practice things. And then you'll go ahead and you'll have a section where you work out some problems, which is done as homework and covered in class. And that's pretty much the format all the way up through both of the 2 textbooks. And that's the way that it goes. And level 2, you'll start using this one. You'll finish it up in level 3. You'll finish it halfway through level 3. Because midterm covers up to the end of this book. So once again, got a CD with audio on it. Exact same format, except for this stuff gets a little bit more complicated because once again you're going up in level, so you can have more kanji, you're going to have more grammar that's used, all that good stuff. Conversations are going to get a little bit longer. Subject matter might get a little bit more complex, but really, as long as you give them class, it's easy. Don't even worry about it. And then this is the second of the kanji books that you'll use. Format's the same as in the other ones, except for obviously different kanji. Fancy that. So this one, I have something else stuck in here, just ignore that. You start using level 2. Finish up on level 3. I'm a couple pages away from finishing now, so once again you finish it before midterm on level 3, and then you move on to the next kanji book. Because we love kanji. But hey, at least we're not learning Chinese, right? Imagine if the entire language was in kanji. Which now you'd have to learn then. But still, real important, make sure you keep up with them, otherwise it will kill you. If you want it, I don't have the ones from level 1 I think, but I do have every single kanji that I've had from level 2 onwards so far that I've put together in a set on cram.com. I can post a link to if y'all want it. And if you want to try and aim for one of the upper levels, you're more than welcome to use them to kind of gauge how many kanji you know versus how many you're going to need to know. They are labeled by the kanji number, so you'll kind of see when we learned it, and by the level, so you can see what level you learned it in, or need to know it by. So that might be helpful for some of you. I don't know what I did with my level 1 kanji. I had them in a list somewhere. Where it went, I don't know. Actually, I might have the kanji on there. I'm really not sure. But I have most of them. I think maybe the end of level 2 I didn't upload. But once again, that's a resource that's available to you if you want it. Another thing that you're given in each level is going to be this. The colors are different, but the picture of the creepy children is the same. As you can see here, they're a little strange. I kind of doodled on mine a little bit. So the problems in these are more difficult than you're going to find in the textbook. So go ahead and go answer them for homework. Teacher will grade it, give it back to you. So you have that, and at the end of it you're going to have katakana dictation that you'll do every so often. You do it more often in level 1. And tanbun dictation. So basically katakana dictation, teacher says a word, you write it out in katakana, see if you write it out correctly. Teacher will show you how it's written and you fix it if you wrote it wrong. And they'll also usually include the intonation, so you see where you're supposed to stress what, where you're supposed to go up or down, or whatever you're supposed to do with it. Sentence dictation, tanbun dictation, basically do the same sort of thing. Teacher says a sentence and you write it out. And then the teacher writes it up on the board, so you can see if you wrote it correctly or not. When it comes time for finals and midterms, make sure you have those written down because that's something that's going to pop up on there. And it will be the exact same katakana words, and it will be the exact same sentences. It won't be all of them, but it will be at least some of them. So make sure you have them written down correctly. Before those tests, study them, and at least that section you can be pretty certain you're going to get correct. Level 3, you start using a lot of independent materials, and from pretty much level 4 onwards, other than the kanji book, it's pretty much all independent reading. Not just independent, but it's stuff that the school has created for us. Now, exception to that, level 3, we also pick up this textbook, which looks like a children's textbook, I know, but it covers different material. It's written quite a bit differently. From what I've seen so far, it's a little bit more complicated. Now this will also come with a vocabulary list. It doesn't include all the words, but it has a lot of them. So you will have that still available to you. No worries there. Another thing you can start using is this. It's an independent textbook. It's got essays and things in it, practice problems, grammar points, for you to practice stuff out on. All sorts of fun stuff. They'll also go back again. You do start writing essays on level 2, and it will go back over the rules for writing those essays for you. Just to remind you, in case you've forgotten how you're supposed to write the essays. They'll show you how to do it again. Another thing you'll want to get, binder for each level to organize things. You will be given a quick schedule. Level 1 is pretty unformatted. So the schedule will tell you all this, like the rules for the classroom, and you'll see what days you have what teachers. But other than that, you don't necessarily know exactly what you're going to cover. Level 2 onwards, that's not the case. It'll tell you, every day you study kanji, but it'll say, like, for instance, this day you're writing an essay, this day you're having a conversation sort of focus. This day we're doing extra practice on this sort of thing, or this or that. We'll include on there. You also take a special studies class. Beginning of the semester, you'll sign up for which ones that you want to do, and then they'll tell you which one you got. It's real basic. You'll get Q&As where you practice doing questions and answers with other students. You'll get conversation sections that you got to read out, and then you'll get graded on how well you read it, how understandable you were. Get graded on your essays, and tests, kanji tests, all that good stuff. But honestly, like I said, just as long as you study, you'll be fine. And if you don't study, you maybe won't be. So, like, for instance, the Chinese students, a lot of times, they do good on the conversation, but they don't tend to practice their kanji, so they don't tend to do as well in the test, and they usually wind up either having to redo it, or they have to rewrite kanji for homework. Me, I study them, they don't always stick real well afterwards, but I do pretty damn well on them. So, it doesn't matter whether or not you spend your entire life writing kanji or not. If you study, you will be okay. So, even though you're with Chinese students and Korean students, don't worry about that. You'll be fine. So, let's see, what else can we cover? Oh yes, essays. You can buy the paper for it here. It's real cheap. So that's fine. 2 optional books that you can purchase are this, which has extra practice problems in it, in case you want to do more. I took my test early last semester, so I wanted to practice a little bit more since I took my test 2 weeks before everyone else in my class. Wanted to make sure I was prepared since I was missing out on quite a few classes. So I went ahead and I got the extra books just to make sure. This one's going to take the cover off of it just because, and I lost it. It's somewhere in my room where I'm not really sure. Basically, this is similar to this, grammar notes. You get this in level 1 and 2 only. You won't get it in level 3. It will cover the vocabulary that you can expect to see in the chapter. It will cover the sentences that are at the beginning of the chapter, and it will go over the grammar points. This does the same sort of thing, but you have extra vocabulary. You usually have a little bit extra on the grammar. Sentences may be a little bit different, things like that. And also, this only covers the chapters that are in that level. So it only covers, I think, up to chapter 42. I think. 37. It's chapter 37 of the second textbook. But there's 50 chapters. So there's a bit of a span there where you won't have the vocabulary. The vocabulary is the big thing. The teacher covers some of it, but not all of it in class. So that's something you want to know. So this might be worth buying. I'm just going to get level 2 because you use it from the same textbook. You may as well use it in both levels. Grammar points are helpful, but not necessarily necessary. It's most of the vocabulary that I think that this is helpful for. If you want to be cheap, just go to the textbook store and surreptitiously take pictures of it. I mean, it's like 3 pages for each chapter, so it really wouldn't take that long to do if you wanted to be a cheapskate about it. And I guess that's about it for this. Video's at 13 minutes and some seconds, and apparently I can upload up to 15. So I think I'll leave it off at that. I have some other stuff lying around here. I pull on everything, so I still have all my papers from levels 1, levels 2, everything I've done on level 3. I have everything that they've handed to me. All the worksheets, the tests, quizzes, all of that they've handed back. So if you did have any questions, if you need any help with anything, I'm more than happy to do so. That's what I'm here for. I like helping people, and in general I do find that teaching or reviewing with other people does help to cement the material. So honestly, if you want me to help you out, it helps me out as well. I really don't mind. So that's about that. If you think of anything else that you want me to go over, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to. If you want me to do readings from some of the Hatsuan sheets that we do, or kind of like show you some of the kanji, I don't know. I'm really pretty open-minded. I think that's great. Take a note from me. When I got here, I bought manga at the airport. I was like, oh, it's so cheap. It's only like $4 or $5. Don't buy books at the airport like I did. Wait till you get here, like officially fully within Tokyo, not at the airport, and go to Book Off and get them for $1. It's a lot cheaper. Because I bought books when I got here, because I thought the prices were great, and I regretted it. So I guarantee every single book I looked at that I bought, I found later for a much, much lower price. So don't buy books at the airport. Wait till you're here. There's a Book Off right down the road from the school. Alright, so now it's approaching 15 minutes, so have a great evening, for real this time. and have a good day.